Alright guys, hello and welcome to another episode of Pixel Predictions. Today we have the Europa League quarterfinals. Every competition is right now is getting to that final stretch to the end. We have like super interesting Premier League, culture not that much, and the other leagues are like decided in a way who's going to be the champion, but we have the relegation fights. But today we're going to be focusing on the Europa League. Like I said, 4 games, quarterfinals are there. And before we head into it, just make sure that if you head over to 1xBet, who is an official sport partner of this channel, just go over there. If you actually register, make sure you use the 1x Kassad or Kassad 1x as the code as you register, and you get up to 130 euros bonus directly from me. It's a pretty cool platform, as you can see, offers a lot of possibilities. So if you actually go there, just make sure you use the code 1x Kassad or Kassad 1x. Anyway, 4 games, like I said, 4 interesting games. The first one is Feyenoord against Roma. Now this is the rematch of the last year conference final in Tirana. They had played, and Roma won 1-0, and winning that title, Mourinho was super happy about that. But right now it's a different story. Roma has their own problems. Roma has their own chase for the actual like Champions League spot in the next year. They're in a good standings in Serie A, but knowing Mourinho, he wants to win this competition. Like, he really wants to do it. It's not gonna be easy because the opponents are really, very difficult right now. And Roma is playing really unpredictable football. They usually go with under 2.5 in most of their games. Very boring football, very annoying football, hard to watch. The team is like a little bit in shambles right now. The good thing is they have Wijnaldum back and he's playing every game, which is a pretty important thing for them. Abraham right now is, I can't really put him like, if you compare him to Osimhen, he's just a different player, even though they're the same style of football, but he's just not scoring enough. Maybe he doesn't have enough help, but he is not scoring enough, definitely. And going into the Netherlands against Feyenoord, who is most likely going to be the champion, is going to be super difficult. Feyenoord is very rarely losing on their home field. They did lose a cup game against Ajax, but it doesn't really matter that much because they're going to be most likely the champions in Netherlands in front of Ajax and AZ Alkmaar and obviously PSV. So it's a very good season for them. They like this opponent. They're not going to be losing this game, and they might even win it because the stadium there is just an additional player for Feyenoord. Like, whenever you play there, I know the Serbian club played there, Partizan last year in the Conference League, and we got destroyed. We were conceded 5 goals. It was 5-2. It's always goals there. It's always like very, very, uh, what do you call it, like electric atmosphere there. And I do believe that we can see goals in this game. If you want to go for something a little more conservative, you can go with Asian handicap 0 with Feyenoord to win. So that means if they win, you win your money. If they draw, then basically you get your money back. And if they lose, then you lose your money. But the odds are 2.35 for the Feyenoord to win straight up, which would offer Asian handicap 0 maybe around let me see, Asian markets. I'm not really sure if the offer is up already, but it will offer around 155, 160, maybe even 170 when it comes to Asian handicap 0. So that's something that's definitely worth looking at. And I'm definitely going for that. The only option I'm waiting for is Roma's lineup before the game to see if they're going to be a little bit or offensive or defensive minded, because if they go a little bit more aggressive, then we can see a lot of goals, even though Roma doesn't really score all that much. But 2.4 at over 2.5 goals for the game is a pretty decent value if you ask me. But definitely Asian handicap 0 for Feyenoord. They are really tough nail to crack. It's at home in their home field. Now that's a game number 1. Definitely an interesting game. It starts at 6:45 European time, Central European time, and it's something that I'm going to be watching as well. Now the second game of the day is Bayer Leverkusen against Royal Union Saint-Gilloise from Belgium. Mm. Now Bayer Leverkusen is in a tremendous form. They are demolishing left and right. They did beat. They did beat Bayern Munich a couple of weeks ago. I watched them during the weekends as well, and they are playing an amazing football right now. And they can score against anyone. Diaby is pretty good. Obviously, Sheik is still injured, but like Diaby is just amazing. Frimpong as well on that right side. It's just they are playing really good football right now. They seem to be like getting into the perfect shape right at the end of the season. It can be really good for them. Them to win at 165 is something that I have to take. Royal Union is a good team in Belgium. They're fighting for the title once again, and I think they're gonna probably make it. Anderlecht is playing right now really well, but they're far away from that title shot. And I think the Royal Union with Club Brugge is probably the strongest team right now. Even Club Brugge is playing a shit football at the moment. They got a little bit better, but Royal Union is definitely a better team there. But overall, for this game, I do believe 165 for Bayer Leverkusen is something that I will probably take, even the over 0.2.5, because Royal Union played against Union Berlin last round, and they did play well in both games. The first game was like 3-3. The second game was like, they scored two, I think. Or no, it was 3-0 for Royal Union. They can score a goal. Like they can actually play attacking football and they can score goals. And Bayer Leverkusen, their defense is not like the greatest defense. They're like all their strengths are in the attacking part of their squad. So both teams to score, something that may be worth looking into. I'm not really sure what the odds are, but both teams to score. Let's see. Where is it? Yes. Okay, 180 for them for that game to be 1-1, 2-2, whatever, and 145 for Bayer Leverkusen to qualify for the next round, which is obviously something that I will take on the long term. I will look into that as well. But Bayer Leverkusen to win this game 165, it's just something that I will definitely take. And that covers the second game. Now we are switching for the third game because we have one game at 6:45 and three games at 9 o'clock. Now Juventus against Sporting Lisbon. So Juventus is playing. I don't know. The thing is, like, their penalty of 15 points can be a little bit, watered down because maybe they get some points back. I'm not really sure when the decision is coming back on that one because they made an appeal. But overall, they are still fighting, and their best chance to qualify for the Champions League next season is through this event, and they have to win it because the winner gets a direct spot into Champions League. Now, Juventus has lost to Lazio in like a few days ago, but Lazio is playing really good. They are just ever since they got eliminated from Europe, they're always playing well, and they're going to be in the Champions League next season. I'm pretty sure that second place is guaranteed for them. They're not going to drop it. So it's going to be the fight for the third and the fourth spot between Milan, Inter, Atalanta, and stuff like that. But this game, I think Juventus is going to go with full force. They have to win this game. Sporting on the other side, they're a pretty dangerous team. We saw them eliminating Arsenal, which is one of the best clubs in Europe right now. They eliminated them on the Emirates Stadium. So it's overall a dangerous team that can score against anyone. I'm pretty sure both teams, especially Sporting, will come into this game quite careful. Just look, not concede more than one, or maybe not even one. That's going to be the goal for them. Under 2.5 offers 170, which is a decent odd if you ask me. But Juventus to win at 1.9 and at the home stadium with the full lineup ready, with Vlahovic, Kostic, Di Maria, and everybody else who are ready to score, I think it's a very, very valid bet for Juventus to win at 1.88, 1.9. And that's something I'm looking to take. I think Vlahovic can score against anyone. Him scoring is also a valid option. I don't know if I can see it right here. Asian markets is all interest goals popular. Okay, I can find it right here. But overall, I think for him to score would be over 2. So 1.9 for them to win, him to scoring. Maybe you can even combine that in some sort of a one-third of a unit situation. But overall, for me, Juventus to win is something that I will definitely look into and probably gonna take. Now, the best way to do this is not to go for your bets immediately, even though the odds change a little bit. You want to wait for the lineups. You want to see what the formations are putting out, because sometimes coaches of the away team can go in a little bit more defensive, put like the double block in the defense, and it's just very hard to score. So a low scoring game here is the probable option. I 167, 169, 170 on under 2.5 is a decent one. So I don't see too many goals here because, like, it's just going to be a super careful game. Nobody gets eliminated after this game. There is another one coming up in the next week. So I think Juventus is going to look to score. I think they might score one or two. Usually, Juventus, like, winning with a small margin is the way to go. That's how they play the whole season. They have most of their points won in the home field. They're rarely losing. They're probably with Napoli the best home team in Serie A, which is a big thing. And if they didn't have those points deducted from them, they would probably be in the second place right now. But it's not the case. They have to win this league, the Europa League, to get to the Champions League next year. So in order to do that, they have to get over this little hump that's called Sporting. So they are going to probably win this game. So I'm probably going to go with them because they have the full squad and Juventus to win. Now, the very last game is Manchester United against Sevilla. Manchester United is still fighting for the Champions League spot. In Premier League, they're probably going to get it. They're just a couple away. They're fighting with Newcastle and Tottenham. And I don't think it's going to be much of a problem, but I think they're going to go for the title here as well, which will also can secure them a Champions League spot next year. But 1.4 is something that I don't like. I the thing is like this is like weird to me when it comes to the bookies, right? They offer 1.55, 1.58 against Everton, who is in the relegation zone in the Premier League, and they're offering 1.4 against Sevilla, who is a solid team from Primera. Like that's something very wrong there. For them to win is 1.4. I don't like it. I know they're in a good form. I know they're playing well. Rashford is playing amazingly. Casemiro is back. Ericsson is still not healthy to play, but he's going to be ready in a couple of weeks. Casemiro should be back, and obviously he's back for the next game against Nottingham Forest. So, and he's pretty eager to play. He knows how to play against Sevilla. But overall, it should be a Manchester United win. But it's like I wouldn't bet my own money on Manchester United at 1.4. If it was 1.6, 155, then I would definitely take it. But 1.4 is something that kind of risk against reward is just not good enough for me. So I would probably put them in some sort of ACA. I can see goals here because even though Sevilla plays a low scoring game for years, I do think that if they get like 2 goals like from Manchester United on them, they're going to be forcing to score at least one. They can get they can concede another one. It can easily be 3-0 here for Manchester United if the things open up good for them. But I expect the strongest lineup for Manchester United. Sevilla, on the other hand, they did improve their form in the recent the recent rounds of the Primera. They did draw against Celta Vigo, who is a decent team. And they have like 2 red cards, so it's a little bit rough for them when it comes to the last game. But overall, if you look at their score, then you can see that they are not that bad. They did beat Cadiz, which is a solid team, okay team, I guess. Not the worst, but and then they have Sevilla that they lost. Obviously, they lost to Getafe 2-0, and it's up and down for them. That's why they're unpredictable. They can score goals. They can concede goals, and something that definitely I would probably skip this game. But all signs point to the Manchester United win. But I'm not really sure, so I'm probably gonna skip this game. Gonna wait for the lineups and actually make a decision then. So these guys, if you like this content, I just want to remind you, if you like this content, make sure you like and subscribe and leave a comment or whatever you wanna talk about when it comes to these games. You have your own prediction or anything like that. We'll be happy to hear from you and engage with you in some sort of a football betting discussion. So I hope you liked this video, and I'll see you the next time. We're probably gonna do the Premier League videos and some culture next weekend, and all these things that are coming up. The finishes of the season is going to be super interesting in all 5 top leagues. So, like again, I hope you enjoyed this video, and I'm going to catch you on the very next one. See ya.